So this is a delete history. So I've made this object, and you'll see that it's got a construction history under input. So I've done all of these processes to it. So if I want to or need to, I can remove these inputs and essentially just leave it as if this was the original object that I created. And the purpose of removing inputs really are twofold. One, sometimes you'll have problems doing some operation. And a lot of times, this is especially true with Booleans, it is often a good idea before you do a Boolean, or if you're getting errors in your operation in one of your tools, to delete all these inputs. Essentially, this forces Maya to rebuild the object and leave it as it is, so that any additional things you do to it, it doesn't have to take into account all of these inputs. It's essentially sealed the object in this place. The other thing I'll do this with is after I have concluded modeling and I have my object modeled and I want to either animate it or surface it, I'll save it, and then I'll delete the history, the inputs in my modeling history, because I'll no longer need those inputs. I've completed the model, whether I'm going to animate it or I'm going to pass it along to another artist to animate or to surface. I want to remove all of the inputs. But be sure and save your object before you do that, and keep it saved with all the inputs. That way, if you need to come back to it, you can. So if I need to, or I want to remove all these inputs, the easiest way is to come up here to the poly modeling shelf, and this middle icon here deletes all of the inputs. I'll show you also it's under Edit, Delete by Type, and History. So I can delete the whole history, or I can delete any history that is not a deformer. And we'll talk about deformers in a future lesson. I also have this delete all by type. So all, if I choose delete all by type, it will delete the history, or the non-deformer history, of all of the objects in the scene. If I go by just delete by type, whatever I have selected in the scene, that will delete. So if I select an object and I go to Edit, Delete by Type, History, and it just removes all the inputs. So it doesn't keep me from doing additional input, right? I can always select the face and continue its extrusion, or bevel it, or whatever I'm going to do to it, right? And then it starts a new list of inputs.